Everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So today we're going to be turning our attention to the Wonder Woman game. I wish I had some footage of a Wonder Woman game, but we don't necessarily have too many iconic games that relate to her. I mean, we've seen her in the Injustice games, so bear with me as you have to manage Batgirl in gameplay. But today I wanted to go ahead and share one major reason why I think fans should be excited about this Wonder Woman game. Now, I'm looking forward to it. She is one of my favorite superheroes in the DC plethora of heroes, and I really do like the fact that she has a very classic story and is of one of those characters that can make a very good and engaging video game. But to the matter at hand, video game development is very interesting. Every game has its own particulars in terms of how the game development cycle goes. And one of the best things that we can do is look at other video game development cycles and look at different experiences within their journey. And potentially we can come up with some very intelligent hypotheses as to what may be going on with games that are actually in development right now. And our guesses could be maybe close to the mark, or at least have an idea or be in the ballpark as to how this is going down. Which leads me to a throwback from about 5 years ago in a subreddit that was actually done as an AMA with Stefan Hill and the social media manager at that time. You see, in this AMA, fans were able to ask questions and Stefan Hill was able to answer. And so someone asked and says, how does it feel coming from Urban Chaos Riot Response, which is basically one of the first games that they made as a studio, Rocksteady, to being known as the creator of the single best superhero game of all time? So Stefan Hill answered this question and says, it's surreal even now. When we made Arkham Asylum, we had no idea it was going to be popular until very late in development. I remember demoing the game to the publisher at one time, and there was 2 people from the publisher in the room. After about 3 minutes of the demo, they went and got someone to join, then someone else, and then someone else. By the end of the demo, there was about 50 people crammed into this tiny room. It was then we started to think that we might have something a bit special. In my opinion, I think that this is very critical for us here today as fans of this particular Wonder Woman franchise coming along to kind of look at this and say to ourselves, well, what is this, something that we have to pay attention to? Well, check this out. Jason Kilar, who is the CEO of Warner Media, actually made a post about his visit to the studios in Seattle, the Monolith Studios, where he actually went. And I think he probably did a one-on-one or got to see a little bit about the team and talk to people regarding the game. And so he posted on Twitter, and this was on January 19th. So exactly a month from today, while I'm recording this video about, he said, update/review today with the team building the Wonder Woman game here in Seattle. I think fans are going to love this game. So many good decisions being made. Now, he gives a caveat regarding the artwork. I actually talked about this in my other video, but it's quite interesting that he is basically in a place where he's able to talk to the developers. He's able to see things that they're doing. And in my opinion, I feel like they probably must have had something significant for the CEO of Warner Media to make his way over to their studio to eventually get to talk with people about the game. And those are people within the organization that's actually developing the project. So in my opinion, I think fans need to actually pay a lot more attention as to how this is playing out. Now, Wonder Woman has been a very important franchise for Warner Brothers, in the last few years. If you think about it, they've been able to invest in multiple movies with the character, and even as a supporting character, Wonder Woman has shown up in also different movies as well. And if you think about the Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice movie and the Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice Snyder Cut movie, you'll see that she actually plays a key role, and they've been able to create an iconic character and even picked out an actress that they felt was going to be iconic enough to push this character and be the symbol of this particular character. And so seeing that that is the case, I think that Warner Brothers, or their media entertainment company, is paying close attention to the development of this game. You see, regardless of where we think the development of this game is, I think it's pretty telling when the CEO actually is sitting with the decision makers in terms of the game development, talking with them about different systems, and then probably giving a lot of feedback in order to basically, inform him and let him in on their production strategy, a lot of the different things that they're doing in the game. And even for him to come out and say he thinks fans are actually going to love this game. I think Jason Kilar's focus, if you go through his Twitter page and see his tweets, you're going to see that there seems to be some kind of a focus as to the audience. I mean, this is Warner Media. And so I think he's paying more closer attention in basically talking to and pointing out things to individual audiences in order for them to be able to realize that there seems to be an emphasis to serve them, whether they be TV shows, whether it be video games, animated series, and so on and so forth. This is very critical because not necessarily do we get to see people in his position, especially in the CEO position, actually do a lot of these kinds of social media chatter themselves. So something good, in my opinion, is going to come of this if they pay close attention and if the developers continue to remain focused on their job. This video is not in any way trying to, in a sense, doubt the capabilities of the developers. No. That's already been established. Monolith has already made 2 games, Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, and both games were actually pretty decent and pretty good. Now, Shadow of War had its criticisms because of some of the monetization practices that actually did launch with the game. And yes, those criticisms were quite necessary because to many fans, they didn't seem fair. But eventually, Warner Brothers decided that they were going to pull that store. I guess it was supposed to be a much more consumer-friendly action. But nonetheless, those days have passed. And I think right now, we're moving on into new horizons. And I think very, very, very important is the mission that they have right now. I mean, if you think about the way the CEO is actually going about things, I think many of us need to pay attention to everything else that's actually within the window because this all falls within his scope. And I think he's taking it very critically and very seriously. So that's pretty much the reason I think fans should be excited about this. Now, not because he says so. Don't get me wrong at the end of this video and say, oh, why should we believe someone that just said something on Twitter? No, I'm saying because it appears that his weight is leaning on this project and even other projects within their ecosystem. So that's what I wanted to clarify by the end of this video. And I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Thanks so much for your time and audience. And we'll talk very soon in another one. Peace out.